My girlfriend posted, single and moving on Instagram 10 minutes after we fought about dishes. So I liked her post and commented, great, the locks are changed. She thought I was bluffing. 20 minutes later, she was standing outside my apartment in the rain, realizing I wasn't joking. Now she's pounding on my door, begging to be let in. But here's the thing, she wanted to be single and move on. So that's exactly what I'm letting her do. Let me back up and explain how we got to this point. My girlfriend Emma has been practically living at my place for the past 8 months. I say practically, because she never officially moved in. She still had her own apartment on the other side of town that her parents were helping her pay for. But she was here 5, maybe 6 nights a week, treating my place like it was hers too. Which was fine by me. I thought we were heading somewhere, you know, building something real together. So tonight, I dragged myself home after a brutal 10-hour shift. I work as a project manager for a construction company, and we've been swamped with this hospital renovation project. I've been pulling crazy overtime. All I wanted was to come home, maybe heat up some leftovers and crash on the couch. But when I walked through that door, there they were, the dishes again, piled up in the sink. This was the 3rd time this week. I tried to keep my voice calm. Hey Emma, do you think you could wash the dishes after you use them? I'm really tired. Simple enough request, right? Wrong. She was sprawled on my couch, scrolling through her phone like she didn't have a care in the world. Didn't even look up at me. I'll do them later, she mumbled. You said that yesterday, and the day before that. Now she looked up, and she was annoyed at me. Oh my God, seriously? You're really going to start this right now? I've had such a stressful day. I felt something in my chest tighten. I've been at work since 6 this morning. I'm just asking you to clean up your own mess. You're being controlling. I already said I'll do it later. That's when something just clicked off inside me. Not in an explosive way. More like a light switch flipping to the off position. You know what? I'm done with this. Done with what? She actually rolled her eyes, full on eye roll like I was some annoying kid. This. Us. I'm tired of feeling like your dad, constantly reminding you to handle basic adult responsibilities. She laughed. Actually laughed right in my face. What? Are you breaking up with me over dishes? That's pathetic. Jake, this isn't about the dishes, Emma. It's about respect. Or the complete lack of it. She jumped up and grabbed her purse. Whatever. I don't need this drama right now. I'm leaving. Fine. Take your stuff with you then. I'm not packing right now. I'll come back tomorrow and get it. No, take it now. She stared at me like I'd lost my mind. It's my stuff. It'll be here tomorrow. Stop being so dramatic. Then she stormed out. Slammed my door so hard I thought the frame might crack. I heard her car start up and peel out of the parking lot. I just sat there for maybe 5 minutes, trying to process what just happened. Then my phone lit up with a notification. Instagram. Emma had posted to her story. I opened it, and there she was. A selfie taken in her car. Full makeup, perfect lighting. Even though she'd supposedly had such a stressful day. The caption made my blood boil. Single and moving on, sometimes you gotta drop the dead weight. Self-love. Know your worth. I stared at my phone screen in disbelief. The audacity was actually kind of impressive. She really thought she was the one ending things. Thought she was in control of this whole situation. Thought she could publicly humiliate me on social media, and then just waltz back tomorrow to grab her stuff like nothing happened. So I liked her post. Then I left a comment. Perfect timing. The locks are getting changed tonight. Good luck with that whole moving on thing. I opened my buildings app and changed the digital entry code for my apartment. The whole thing took about 30 seconds. New 6-digit code. Done. Then I walked to the kitchen and started washing those dishes she'd left behind. And you know what? It felt good. Really therapeutic, actually. Each plate I scrubbed clean felt like I was washing away months of frustration. My phone started going absolutely crazy. First her friends started calling and texting. Then Emma herself. The calls kept coming, one after another. I ignored every single one. Just kept washing those dishes, taking my time, making sure each one was spotless. About 20 minutes later, the pounding started on my door. She was back. And she was furious. Jake! Open this door right now! This isn't funny! I walked over but didn't open it. Just spoke through the door. Your Instagram post said you're single now, so good luck with your new single life. Are you Soros right now? It's raining. Let me in. I glanced out the window. It's barely drizzling. You'll survive. My stuff is in there. Yeah, about that. You can schedule a time to pick it up during the day with advance notice. You can't do this. Actually, I can. It's my apartment, my lease, my locks, my rules. You're being completely insane over a stupid Instagram post. Nope. I'm just taking your breakup announcement seriously. You said you wanted to be single. Congratulations. You got your wish. More pounding. Louder this time. I didn't mean my tea. I was upset. Cool. You can be upset at your own apartment. The one your parents are paying for. Silence for a moment. I don't have my keys. They're inside. Should have thought about that before posting on social media that you're single and moving on. People are going to think you're psycho. People are going to see that you publicly dumped me. And I took you at your word. That's on you, not me. I heard her talking on the phone, probably calling one of her friends to come rescue her. More pleading through the door, more threats, more bargaining. I walked back to my living room, turned on Netflix, and cranked the volume up. Drowned out all the noise from the hallway. She stayed out there for about an hour. Eventually, she gave up and left. My phone continued blowing up all night, but I was done engaging. 8 months of Emma treating my place like a hotel. 8 months of her leaving messes everywhere and taking zero responsibility. And then she has the nerve to publicly humiliate me because I dared to ask her to wash some dishes. Nah. She wanted to move on. She could move on without access to my apartment. Aquas tacharsi days latar. The fallout has been something else, let me tell you. That first night after Emma finally left my doorstep, I got about 50 messages from her and her friends. The accusations ranged from, "You're abusive," to, "This is financial abuse," to, "You can't just lock someone out of their home." Except here's the thing, it wasn't her home. It was mine. My name on the lease, my furniture, my security deposit, everything was mine. The next morning, I woke up to find Emma had posted another Instagram story. This time it was a screenshot of our text conversation, but she'd heavily edited it to make herself look innocent. The caption was something about, "Toxic men who can't handle strong women." Whatever. Let her spin whatever narrative she wants. That afternoon, she showed up at my building. My building manager called me up. "Jake, your girlfriend is down here in the lobby. She's saying you stole her belongings." She's not my girlfriend anymore. She made that very clear on Instagram. And I didn't steal anything. Her stuff is up here safe. She just needs to arrange a time to pick it up. Well, she's making quite a scene down here. Then call security if you need to. I'll be down in 20 minutes. I went down to the lobby, and there she was with 2 of her friends. Both of them were glaring daggers at me the second I stepped off the elevator. Finally, Emma said, "Give me my keys." I changed the locks. "Your old keys don't work anymore." "Then give me the new code." "Why would I do that? You're single now, remember? You posted about it." One of her friends stepped forward. "Dude, you're being a complete jerk right now. Just let her get her stuff." "I'm not stopping her from getting her stuff. She can arrange a time to pick it up, like I've been saying. Her stuff is literally in your apartment. You can't hold it hostage like this." "I'm not holding anything hostage. I'm setting boundaries." "There's a big difference." Emma's face was turning red. "This is ridiculous. I'm calling the police." "Go right ahead." And she did. Right there in the lobby. Put the call on speakerphone, probably hoping to embarrass me. The dispatcher answered 911, "What's your emergency?" "My boyfriend locked me out of our apartment and won't let me get my belongings." "Is your name on the lease?" "Mine." Emma hesitated. "Well, no, but, is this a domestic violence situation? Are you in any immediate danger?" "No, but he's being." "Mom, if you're not in danger and your name isn't on the lease, this is a civil matter. You'll need to coordinate with him to retrieve your belongings or seek legal counsel." Emma's face was priceless. I almost felt bad. "Almost." The dispatcher continued. "Has he destroyed or stolen any of your property?" She looked at me. I shook my head calmly. "No," she admitted quietly. "Then I recommend you to work out a time for you to collect your things like adults. If you can't come to an agreement, you may need to pursue this through small claims court. Have a good day." The click. The lobby went completely silent. Even her friends looked uncomfortable. "Tomorrow," I said. "Between 2 and 4 p.m. I'll have everything boxed up and waiting by the door. You get one trip. Bring whoever you want to help you carry stuff. But you don't come inside. You take what's yours from the doorway and you leave. That's the deal." "That's not. That's the offer. Take it or leave it." Emma. She looked like she wanted to argue more. But her friends were already pulling her toward the exit. One of them was whispering something in her ear. They all left together. I went back upstairs and spent the rest of the evening boxing up Emma's stuff. Clothes, toiletries, that ridiculous collection of decorative pillows she'd accumulated over the months. Her laptop charger, some books she never read, a yoga mat she'd used exactly twice. Everything fit into 5 medium-sized boxes and 2 shopping bags. While I was packing, I found some interesting things. A receipt from an upscale Italian restaurant downtown. Date from 2 weeks ago. The bill was $180 for 2 people. I remembered that night clearly. Emma had told me she was having a girls' night out with her friends. Then I found another receipt. A parking stub from the Marriott Hotel in the business district. Same week. She'd told me she was visiting her older sister that night. I took photos of both receipts. Didn't know if I'd ever need them, but I figured documentation might come in handy. That night I got a text from Emma's mom, Sarah. First time we'd talked in months. "What is going on, Jake? My daughter is absolutely devastated. She says you kicked her out over nothing." I screenshot Emma's Instagram post and sent it to her. She dumped me publicly, Sarah. I just took her seriously. Now she's upset about the consequences. She didn't mean it. She was emotional and upset. She's 27 years old. Old enough to mean what she posts on social media. You're being cruel. She has nowhere to go. She has her own apartment. The one you and your husband helped pay for, remember. No response after that. The next day at 2 p.m. sharp, Emma showed up with her 2 friends and her younger brother, Marcus. I had all her stuff lined up in the hallway outside my door, exactly like I'd promised. I opened the door just enough to see them. It's all there. Take it and go. I need to check and make sure you didn't take anything of mine, Emma said. Check from out there. You're not coming inside. She started going through the boxes right there in the hallway, pulling things out, making a mess. Marcus looked completely embarrassed by the whole situation. Where's my straightener? She demanded. The pink one. In the bag on the left. My laptop. You took that with you when you stormed out 3 days ago. Oh. Right. She kept digging through boxes, clearly looking for something to complain about. After about 20 minutes, her friend finally said, "Come on, Emma, let's just go. You're making this worse." "Wait, where's my jewelry box? The wooden one. That's mine." "No, it's not. You borrowed it. It's staying here. You're literally stealing from me right now." I pulled out my phone and showed her a photo from my camera roll. It was me holding that exact jewelry box the day I bought it at an estate sale. The photo was timestamped and dated 18 months before Emma and I even started dating. Her face fell. "Anything else you want to falsely accuse me of?" I asked. Silence. They loaded everything up and left. As Marcus walked past me carrying the last box, he mumbled, "Sorry about all this, man. You're a good kid, Marcus." I closed the door, locked all 3 locks, and finally felt like I could breathe properly for the first time in days. TWO Week 2 has been an absolute masterclass in entitlement and manipulation. First, Emma tried the guilt approach. Long text messages about how I was the love of her life, and she made a terrible mistake, and could we please just talk face to face? I responded exactly once. You made your feelings crystal clear on Instagram. Move on like you said you would. Then she switched tactics completely. Now I was controlling, emotionally abusive, and a narcissist. She actually said I was gaslighting her by taking her social media post at face value. The irony was completely lost on her. Her friends started sliding into my DMs. One told me I'd destroyed her mental health, and I should be shamed of myself. Another called me toxic and manipulative. A third one sent me a 3-paragraph essay about how real men communicate instead of playing childish games. I blocked every single one of them. Not worth my time or energy. But Friday evening is when things got really interesting. I got a call from my building's front desk. "Mr. Peterson, there's a young woman here claiming to be your girlfriend. She says she needs to be let up because she left something important in your unit." "She's not my girlfriend, and she already got all her belongings last week. Please don't let her up. She's being quite insistent, sir. If she won't leave, call the police for trespassing." I heard Emma's voice yelling in the background. Then the call ended. 10 minutes later, my door buzzer started ringing. Again and again and again. She was going through the building directory, buzzing every single unit, trying to get someone to let her into the building. I called building security directly. They escorted her off the property and informed her she was no longer welcome on the premises without my explicit written permission. Saturday morning, I woke up to discover Emma had filed an actual police report claiming I was withholding her property. 2 police officers showed up at my door around 10 a.m. "Sir, we have a report that you're refusing to return your ex-girlfriend's belongings." I returned everything last week. She picked it all up with multiple witnesses present. The officer checked his notepad. "She claims there are still items inside your residence." "Like what?" She mentioned a toothbrush, some hair products, and a sweater. I almost laughed out loud. She filed a police report over a toothbrush. A toothbrush that costs $3. "As the toothbrush here, sir. Probably in my bathroom trash where I threw it after she left, along with any other toiletries she abandoned. Do you want me to dig through my garbage for you?" The officer looked at his partner. They both looked tired and annoyed. "What about the sweater she mentioned?" "She took all her clothes last week. If she left something behind, that's on her. She had over an hour to go through 5 boxes, and took everything she wanted. I'm not running a storage facility here." "And the hair products?" "Same answer. If she left anything, it's because she didn't think it was important enough to take. That's abandoned property at this point." The older officer closed his notepad. "Sir, did you damage or intentionally withhold any of her property?" "Absolutely not. She got everything she considered important when she packed up." "All right, we'll note that in our report." He spoke into his radio. "Mom, he's provided a reasonable explanation. Unless you have proof of significant property value being withheld, this remains a civil matter, not a criminal one. I heard Emma's voice crackling through the radio, shrill and angry. The officer winced and turned down the volume. After they left, I actually did check my bathroom. Found her cheap drugstore shampoo, a bottle of conditioner, one disposable razor, and her toothbrush in the trash like I'd said. Maybe $15 worth of stuff total. I took detailed photos of everything, documented it all, and put the items in a small box labeled with her name. If Emma wanted to play these ridiculous games, I'd have receipts for absolutely everything. Sunday afternoon, Emma's mom Sarah called again. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity got the better of me. Jake, you need to apologize to my daughter. Apologize for what exactly? For humiliating her! For treating her like this! She's been crying for 2 straight weeks. Sarah. She posted on Instagram that she was single and moving on. I supported her decision. How is that humiliation? That's called respect. She didn't mean it! It was just a post! Just social media. Then maybe she shouldn't post things she doesn't actually mean. Actions have consequences. She's young! She made a mistake! She's 27 years old, Sarah. That's plenty old enough to mean what you say, especially online. You're being vindictive, Jake. I'm being consistent. Emma wanted out. I let her out. Now she's mad because she doesn't get to control all the terms. She loves you. That made me pause. She had a funny way of showing it when she was going to expensive restaurants behind my back. Silence on the other end. What are you talking about? Sarah's voice changed. I told her about the receipts I'd found. The hotel parking stub. The 100 dinner for 2 people while I was working overtime and she claimed to be at a girls' night. More silence. I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation for those things. I'm sure there is too. But it's not my problem anymore. She's single now, remember. She can explain it to whoever she was with. Sarah hung up without another word. Tuesday evening, this was just yesterday. I got home from work to find a letter taped to my apartment door. Hand-delivered, not mailed. I opened it up. It was a demand letter from some lawyer. The whole thing was maybe 3 paragraphs of barely legal-sounding language demanding that I 1. Return of her property immediately. What property? 2. Compensate her for emotional distress. 2,503. Pay for her temporary housing costs while she recovers from the trauma. 2,804. Provide a written apology or face legal action. I took a picture of the letter and sent it to my buddy Derek, who works as a paralegal at a law firm downtown. He called me back 5 minutes later, laughing hysterically. Dude, this is literally the worst demand letter I've ever seen in my life. It's not even on proper letterhead. You can tell they just used some template they found online. But is it actually legit? Technically someone filed it, yes. But it's complete garbage, Jake. Emotional distress claims require proof of actual harm, medical bills, therapy costs, documented psychological damage. She'd need to prove you did something intentionally malicious. Breaking up with someone isn't emotional distress. That's just called life. What about the housing costs she's claiming? She has her own apartment that her parents pay for. She can't claim you need to pay for housing she already has. This whole thing is ridiculous. So what should I do about it? Absolutely nothing. Don't respond to it at all. If they actually file something in court, which I seriously doubt they will, then you deal with it. But I'd bet money this is just an intimidation tactic. They're hoping you'll panic and send her money to make it go away. So I just ignore it. Exactly. File it away somewhere safe in case she does try something stupid later. But if you respond, you're acknowledging it and giving it legitimacy. Let it die on its own. So that's where things stand right now. Emma has tried guilt, tripping me, anger, false police reports, and now legal threats. All because she made a dramatic public social media post ending our relationship, and I had the audacity to take her seriously. My buddy Tyler from work says I should feel bad, that I'm kicking her while she's down. But here's the thing, Emma's not down because of me. She's down because she made a dramatic, hurtful social media post intended to humiliate me publicly. Then realized she'd actually have to live with those consequences. She genuinely thought she could have her big moment of public humiliation against me, and then just stroll back into my life whenever she felt like it. That's not how respect works. That's not how adult relationships work. And honestly, I'm doing completely fine. Better than fine, actually. My apartment is cleaner. My stress levels are way down. I'm not constantly walking on eggshells around someone who treats basic, reasonable requests like personal attacks. I still have those toiletries of hers boxed up though, just in case she tries claiming I destroyed her property. I'm documenting absolutely everything at this point. It's been 6 weeks since the Instagram post that started this whole mess. Time for one final update, and then I'm closing this chapter for good. The demand letter from that strip mall lawyer went absolutely nowhere. No follow-up calls, no court papers served, nothing. Derek was right, it was pure intimidation and nothing more. Probably some budget attorney who charged Emma $150 to print out a template and stick it in an envelope. But the drama definitely didn't stop there. During week 3, Emma tried a completely different approach. She started reaching out to our mutual friends, telling them her carefully edited version of events. How I cruelly kicked her out in the rain. It was barely drizzling. How I held her property hostage. She got literally everything. How I was emotionally abusive. I asked her to do dishes. I lost a few friends in that mess. People who immediately took her word for it without even bothering to reach out and ask for my side. Honestly, good riddance. If you're willing to believe I'm some abusive monster, without even sending me a single text to hear my perspective, you were never really my friend anyway. The friends who did reach out and actually asked what happened got the full story. The Instagram post, the police calls, the demand letter, all of it. Most of them backed off after hearing everything. One mutual friend, Jessica, actually apologized to me. She said Emma had pulled the exact same stunt with her ex-boyfriend about 2 years ago. Dramatic social media post announcing she was single. Then complete shock when the guy took her seriously and moved on. In week 4, Emma showed up at my workplace. I still don't know how she found out where our company's field office was located. Maybe she remembered from months ago when I'd mentioned it in passing. Security called me. "Jake, there's a woman at the front desk asking for you. Says it's personal." I pulled up the security camera feed on my computer. Sure enough, it was Emma. Dressed up nicely, full makeup, holding 2 coffee cups like we were about to have some romantic reunion. Tell her I'm not available. She says she'll wait as long as it takes. Tell her to leave immediately or I'll file for a restraining order. She left. I got a text about an hour later. "Wow. You won't even talk to me after everything we had together." I responded. "You posted on Instagram that you were single and moving on. That was you ending everything we had. Stop contacting me." Her reply. "Why are you being so cold?" "I'm being consistent. You made a very public declaration. I respected it. Move on like you said you would." She blocked me after that exchange. Finally, week 5 brought the most interesting development of all. Remember those receipts I'd found? The restaurant bill and the hotel parking stub. I randomly ran into Emma's brother Marcus at a coffee shop near my apartment. He approached my table looking nervous. "Hey Jake, can we talk for a minute?" We sat down. He looked really uncomfortable, like he wasn't sure he should be there. "Look, I wanted to say I'm sorry about everything that happened. My sister, she's got some serious issues." "Yeah, I figured that out the hard way." "No, I mean she's been doing this exact same thing for years with basically every boyfriend she's had. Creates massive drama, posts about it publicly, then plays the victim when guys finally get tired of her behavior." "Why are you telling me this, Marcus?" He sighed heavily. "Because she will not stop talking about you. It's driving our whole family crazy. And also, I found out some stuff that I think you deserve to know. Those receipts you mentioned to our mom. The restaurant and the hotel parking." My stomach dropped. "Yeah. That was probably with this guy Ryan from her gym. She's been seeing him on and off for like 3 months. I'm pretty sure she was hedging her bets with you the whole time." Even though part of me had suspected it, hearing it confirmed out loud still stung. Did she actually cheat on me? I don't know for absolute certain, but probably she's been super weird about her phone for months. Really secretive. That's usually a pretty clear sign. "Does Emma know you're telling me this?" "Hell no, she'd absolutely kill me. But you seemed like a genuinely decent guy when we were picking up her stuff that day. I figured you deserved to know you really dodged a bullet with her." We talked for about 30 more minutes. Marcus gave me more details that made everything make sense. Apparently, Ryan wasn't the only guy Emma had been keeping warm while we were together. That Instagram post wasn't just dramatic, it was calculated and planned. She thought she had Ryan all lined up and ready to go, so she could publicly dump me and immediately move on to him. Except Ryan wasn't interested in anything serious. When Emma told him she was officially single now, he apparently told her he wasn't looking for a committed relationship. So she tried to come crawling back to me, only to find the door literally locked and the entry code changed. Marcus left with, "Sorry again about my sister, man. I know she's probably not going to leave you alone for a while, but maybe knowing all this will help explain why she's been acting so crazy." It did help. It explained everything. That conversation with Marcus was 2 weeks ago now. I haven't heard a single word from Emma since she blocked me. Her friends have stopped messaging me. That budget lawyer never followed up on his demand letter. Emma has even stopped posting about toxic exes on Instagram. According to Marcus, who's been keeping me loosely updated, Emma is now posting all about healing and finding herself and self-love journeys. Ryan, the gym guy, has apparently moved on to dating someone else. Emma's parents are pushing her hard to focus on her career and stop creating drama. She still has her apartment, still has the same life she had before, just without me as a safety net to fall back on. As for me, I'm genuinely good. Really truly good. The apartment feels lighter now, Like a weight I didn't even realize I was carrying has been lifted. I'm not constantly worried about whether asking someone to pull their own weight will trigger a massive blowout fight. I actually started seeing someone new about 2 weeks ago. Her name is Rachel, and I met her through work. She's an architect on one of our current projects. The vibe is completely different from what I had with Emma. Rachel is mature, she communicates like an adult, and yes, she does her own dishes without being asked. We're taking things slow, which feels right. I haven't told her the full story about Emma yet, just mentioned that my last relationship ended kind of messily. Rachel didn't pry or push for details, which is honestly another green flag. My buddy Tyler, the one who said I was heartless for kicking Emma while she was down. He apologized to me last week, said he'd only heard Emma's side initially through the grapevine, and didn't realize how manipulative the whole situation actually was. We're good now. Financially, this entire situation cost me basically nothing. Changed the locks, which honestly needed to be changed anyway. Spent a few hours dealing with police visits and packing up her belongings. Lost some acquaintances who turned out to not be real friends anyway. But I gained something way more valuable, clarity about what I absolutely will not tolerate in a relationship. The biggest lesson I've learned from all this: social media posts aren't jokes. You can't publicly post something hurtful, and then expect people to just ignore it because you were emotional, or didn't really mean it. Words have consequences. Actions have consequences. Emma wanted to publicly declare to the world that she was single and moving on. I took her at her word, exactly what she asked for. She thought she could control the narrative, play manipulative games. And I'd just sit there and take it like I had been for months. She found out real fast that's not how I operate. People keep asking me if I feel bad, if I went too far, if changing the locks was mean. And honestly, no, I don't feel bad at all. Emma's not homeless, she has her own apartment. She's not broke, her parents help support her financially. She's not without her belongings, she got every single thing that was hers. She's not in any danger, I never threatened or harmed her in any way. She's simply facing the reality that actions have consequences. That dramatic social media posts aren't without cost. She publicly ended our relationship in the most humiliating way she could think of, genuinely believing I'd come crawling back and begging for another chance. Instead, I took her seriously and moved on with my life. That's not mean. That's called self-respect. The one thing I do wonder about sometimes is whether Emma ever actually cared about me, or if I was just convenient. The free apartment she could use without paying rent. The reliable guy who'd be there when her drama got old with other people. Marcus's comment about her, hedging her bets, suggests I was probably the latter. And that does sting a little, I'm not going to lie. Nobody likes finding out they were someone's backup plan. But you know what? Better to find out 8 months in than 8 years in, or even worse, after marriage and kids. So yeah, that's the complete story from start to finish. Girl posted a dramatic breakup announcement on Instagram. Guy took her seriously. Girl was shocked to discover that consequences actually exist in real life. It's not some fairy tale ending. It's not even particularly satisfying in a revenge kind of way. It's just reality. Emma wanted to move on. She moved on. Just not in the way she'd planned and expected. And me, I moved on too. To someone who doesn't think asking them to clean up after themselves is controlling. To a life without constant unnecessary drama. To an apartment where I'm not walking on eggshells every single day. Is everything perfect now? No. I still sometimes get a little anxious when my phone buzzes. Worried it might be Emma with some new demand or accusation. I'm definitely more cautious now about who I trust and how quickly I let people into my life. The new relationship with Rachel is going well, but I'm much more guarded than I used to be, for better or worse. But overall it's better, it's honest. And it's mine. To anyone out there dealing with similar situations, trust your gut instincts. If someone publicly humiliates you, that's information about who they really are. If someone treats your completely reasonable boundaries as personal attacks, that's information. If someone plays the victim every single time they face consequences for their own actions, that's information. Use that information. Make decisions based on it. And don't feel bad for taking people at their word when they clearly tell you who they are. Emma posted that she was single and moving on. I said, cool, the locks are changed. Best decision I've made in a long while.